Welcome to the Sports Show. Mike Max, Patrick Royce, Eric Nelson, and Sid Hartman. We're a bit worried tonight about Lou Nanny. The last time we talked to him, he was at Customs in Canada trying to get back, so we have no idea what the delay was there.
Was he trying to settle the strike, the lockout? Was he up there trying to settle the lockout?
Yeah, he's up watching his
grandson. They got about 10 minutes left to settle before they got to blow the whole thing out, don't you think?
Every time we think it's going somewhere. But what do any of us know on this one? I mean, there's about 3 people that know, and we ain't them.
No.
Official statement on the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, they played well today. Didn't turn the ball over.
Whoa, that's good.
And you got a running back like that. Peterson, he's unstoppable. I talked about Grant about him tonight. I wrote my lead column what Grant thought about him.
What did he say?
He just thinks he can do all the things. Some running backs got power, they got strength, they got speed. He's got all 3. But he says he still has to prove himself, you know, before he's Eric Dickerson or before he's Emmitt Smith or before he's somebody like that. But the guy's amazing. And he's an amazing young man, too. And Thursdays he comes there and those press conferences and always got a smile on his face and always in good humor. But I thought he won the game today when he made that 49-yard run. Because I think the way that thing going, it was going into overtime. They had no defense for that passing attack in the last quarter. They scored 15 points in the last quarter.
Are the Vikings a playoff team, Patrick?
They are right now, 6th place now, Eric. Yeah, Peterson's the second coming of Walter Payton with a little more speed, but the same kind of relentless, never, you know, he's not going to go down if you just hit him twice. You got to hit him about 3 times. But to me, he's absolutely Payton. He's you know, Payton.
You're amazing. Grant said exactly the same thing. Walter Payton, but he's got more speed.
Little faster. But then again, the defenders are faster now, too, than when Walter Payton
Well, in talking, Eric, to Phil Lodeholt and some of the offensive linemen this week, I said, how can you put 9 in the box and not stop him? And they said, the problem is you gamble. Because if he just bounces one of you, now you've got only 2 back, and that's why he's going to get all these big runs. So it actually works against you to an extent.
Exactly. You get to level 2 when you pack the box and you're gone in some cases. I think the number we're going to hear in the next 2 weeks is 2105. That's what Dickerson ran for in 1984. I was a young kid out there. I saw the Rams then. I was there when Eric Dickerson was a rookie. Now I'm here. I feel pretty spoiled. And I tried to contact Dickerson tonight, and he does not want to talk about this. He has publicly said, I don't want AP to break the record.
I don't blame guys for that, do you?
No,
I mean,
what
why
else
do
you
we
got, right?
remember Eric Dickerson? Because he holds the record.
Exactly.
You get,
and he was fabulous. He was a straight-up glider, whereas AP kind of doles out the punishment. He's a bruiser.
Yeah, did Eric Dickerson ever cut back on a run in his entire life? He just went to the pylon, didn't he?
He was the Pony Express.
Yep.
What were you going to say?
You would think after he'd had that knee surgery, he'd be a little less aggressive. But like that, he's more aggressive. I privately talked to him. He says, if they time me right now, I'm faster, I'm stronger, I'm better than I was when I had the knee surgery.
He is the most fanatical that I've ever covered or talked to about his desire to prove to people and to himself that he's great. I mean, and you say, well, everybody wants that. Well,
on TV, they asked him, are you going to get that 254 yards? He says, yeah, we are going to get it.
No, but he's absolutely committed for a cause, and I say that, Patrick, because I don't think that Percy Harvin is. I don't think everybody's made that way.
Yeah, that's true. He is. I think he's got that Tiger Woods gene in him.
Whatever that is.
Where he wants.
Legacy matters.
You know, Tiger's still, even with all his troubles, winning 19 majors has been driving him since he was a 17-year-old kid.
Yep.
And 2105 is driving Adrian Peterson right now.
And I think locally here, the only other athlete that I've seen, now you've seen more of him, and you have too, but he reminds me of KG. When you got done watching KG, you knew he left it all on the floor, and I think the same things with Adrian.
Without all the anger towards everybody. Yeah.
Although KG was pretty cool with Kevin McHale the other night.
Yeah. Go ahead, Sid.
Outside of Puckett, I'll tell you what, he's a hero in this town. He's a big hero.
Well, Yeah.
I don't know if, it is amazing, though. We've had more until this week, maybe, and maybe until last week, we've had more complaining about Ponder than we have praise for Peterson. This team's 8-6. They might go to the playoffs. And looking back in Viking history, I don't know if there's a team with as low of expectations going into the season as this one that ever made the playoffs.
Yep.
So this could be one of the more phenomenal success stories they've had, and the reason is Adrian Peterson and a much better defense than anybody thought they were going to have.
Here's the thing. Why should you throw the ball when you got a guy like that?
Well, you don't until they stop it.
Yeah, they don't. They don't throw the ball.
Yeah. Take a break, come back, sports show. There it is, locally owned, nationally known, and what a great place to celebrate this holiday season. J.D. Hoyt's. Take that special someone out or organize the office party. Stop on by J.D. Hoyt's and relax for a night. Say hi to Pat and the gang. It is the perfect place in downtown Minneapolis. Okay, Eric, let me ask you this one. Bradford or Ponder? Is there a big difference when you look at how Bradford has developed and where Ponder's at? $50 million for Bradford.
Well, in terms of wins, Christian Ponder's ahead of Sam Bradford, but I don't think he's as good as Sam Bradford. He doesn't have the protection he needs right now down there in St. Louis. But I'm sure there are people with the Rams and their fan base wondering, when's this guy going to get us to the next level? These young guys develop a lot quicker now than they did back in the day, and you see guys like RG3 or Kirk Cousins even having success right away.
I'm sure there's people in St. Louis saying, why did we trade all those draft choices? Why didn't we just take Robert Griffin? And try to get rid of Sam Bradford. You know what? They had so much money invested in Bradford, they didn't have any choice.
They could have traded Bradford for something pretty good for
They might have gotten
one.
a player, number one. Oof.
Except
hard to
for
say
this.
no to Griffin.
According to Mark Craig, was it Mark Craig who wrote that story about all the players they got in that deal?
Yep. They did get a bunch of them, but I'd take Griffin anyway. Even though, who needs him? Washington wins. Kirk Cousins passes for 330 yards.
And they ran the same offense. They're doing Griffin's there.
2 straight weeks for Kirk Cousins.
You know what I was surprised though as I was watching the game today? I thought I'd hear more boos. Is St. Louis just a sleepy football town or what?
I think you kind of took, they were kind of pumped up that they finally had. This is the first time they've shown any life.
They had won at Buffalo the week before. I think Bradford had a last-minute TD pass to win.
Yeah, he hadn't played well then.
And they were kind of on the fringe going into this game.
They were playing so poorly the first half, I thought you'd hear boos, but you really didn't. And I thought, well, maybe they're just indifferent. I don't know.
No, I don't.
Let me tell you, he took a pretty good hit from Greenway, and it took him a while to recover. Greenway really got him, and I think he was really hurting in the first half, and I think they did something to treat him a little bit in the second at halftime and got him back going. But I don't know. Patrick says the defense, the Vikings, great. I
can't
see
it's great. I said it's much better than we thought it was going to be.
Their pass defense, they completed every pass.
They're playing 3 guys deep when they're ahead and letting everything go in front of them. They're not, they're not giving up any long passes.
No, they're just killing clock.
Those are cosmetic numbers.
Time. They play even softer when they get ahead.
I like that term, cosmetic numbers. That'd be a good one for your
put
column.
Put it in your column, Sid.
Yes.
Cosmetic numbers. That's what those were.
You know what else he needs to put in his column?
What?
Blair Walsh, 5 field goals, 3 from 50 or more.
Yeah.
I mean, so even if you don't get into the red zone, this guy's going to get you 3.
Oh, he's amazing.
Well, they got Robeson hurt today. He got hurt in the first half, hurt his shoulder, his arm. You take him out of that defensive line, and they're hurting. He's pretty good.
What do they know? They know what's wrong with him?
I never heard. Did you guys?
I'm very nervous. He's my player guest on the radio on Tuesday.
I know, and you learn what to care about.
I don't want him being in rehab.
You're in trouble.
I don't want him being in rehab.
But Everson Griffin's, he's played enough now. He made a big play today. You can pop him in there for a couple games.
He's done a very good job for them. He's kind of a linebacker and non-linebacker.
He's got a lot of energy.
He got a lot of speed. Pete Carroll really liked him.
He had him at USC, for people not familiar.
Huh?
He had him at USC.
Yeah.
He's done okay for a guy who... We were a little worried about him 2 years ago when he got arrested twice in a week, but
he had
he's
something with
shaped up a little bit, I guess.
The LAPD and him had a little incident, but they dropped him into coverage. And that's how athletic he is. We all know how big he is.
But you saw how fast he was.
Right, he dropped and then looked like a linebacker or a DB.
You know who else is finally starting to show some life? Christian Ballard.
Yes.
Don't you think?
Iowa.
I mean, they kind of waited for him for a while, but he's starting to, when he comes in and subs in, he's making a play now and again.
It'd be fun to get this team in the playoffs, wouldn't it? Just to have something to.
I think they'll be 9-7.
9-7
I would
won't
think
do it.
Green
Yeah,
Bay
that's what
would
I'm
come
wondering.
in here, and the game don't mean a thing to Green Bay.
Well, they're still
might.
trying to get home field.
Huh?
They're trying to get that week off.
Yeah,
If they're still trying to get that week off, it'll mean something to them.
yeah, that's
know.
it. Yeah. Otherwise, the Bears, they look terrible today.
Against Green Bay.
How about our old Detroit Lions? Are they back to
You
normal?
can count on them, can't you?
4-10 now. They go down to Arizona. What have they lost? 6 in a row? 5
Arizona
in a
had
row?
lost 9 in a row.
They
Yeah,
got
but-
beat by
oh,
Arizona.
Detroit.
Yeah.
Detroit's. Oh, Arizona killed them.
Yeah.
So Schwartz is gone, your old buddy from John Kudekun's days.
You think they'll fire him?
Yeah.
Schwartz?
Schwartz.
I don't think they'll fire him.
You think they'll keep him?
One more year. Yeah. I think so. What do you think?
Your coach, I mean?
Yeah, Detroit
Schwartz.
coach.
Schwartz?
Yeah, your old buddy.
Yeah, he was a graduate assistant with Goodikins.
Goody should have taught him more.
Goody should have worked more with him on
Yes,
defense.
right.
Yeah, and discipline.
Yeah.
That's a
But isn't that
chippy
something?
team.
I mean, the Lions. You know, it's there are certain franchises like that. You can just they can't stand prosperity.
What do you think about last week? They were up on Green Bay 14-0 at Lambeau in the snow. And they haven't won in Wisconsin in like 22 years. I'm
Yeah.
thinking maybe this is the week, but no.
Yeah.
No, you
they
didn't.
cough it
If
up.
you thought that, you were the only one in the country. You were the only one in the country.
I
who
was
thought
hoping
they were
it.
gonna win.
But even Matt Millen couldn't get them fixed.
No, not even Matt.
Yeah. Let's take a break.
He won't fire
Peter Talk
this guy.
Sports. You're watching
I
the
think they'll
sports
give
show.
him-
Oh, they're changing their name from Carousel Audi to Audi of Minnesota, Audi of Minneapolis. But boy, it's the same great commitment. Bruce Bonine and the group with new ownership. Excited to have you come in and walk the lot, find out what it is about an Audi. Ricky Rubio, what can you say?
Well, I was there. It's the most amazing thing I've seen. I haven't seen anything like that. For Puckett, for Peterson.
You mean the crowd reaction?
Yeah, crowd reaction. They're yelling, "We want Rubio, we want Rubio." Then he goes in. Every time he does anything, they go crazy. But
Well, go ahead.
he's pretty good.
Well, he changes every possession because every time he's got the ball, something might happen that you got to watch for, Patrick.
Well, plus it's really a benefit to have some personality, doesn't it? Doesn't it? I mean, the kid is, when he's on the bench, you want to watch him to see what he's doing with his teammates. When he's a great teammate as opposed to the other star on that team who shall go nameless. But he's, he just lights up an arena. He lights up a room. He's just a personable kid, loves basketball, and I want to see him and Schmed play together. There might be some guys getting hit in the side of the head with basketballs with those two guys.
That guy's a pretty good player, that kid from Russia.
Yeah.
At first, I thought, what is this? They played him a lot in the fourth quarter. Now he's starting to pay off.
The only thing I can't understand about this team, they keep on blowing those big leads. 12,
NBA,
13,
Sid.
14 points.
But,
The NBA, Sid.
but Eric, it's
the
a
NBA.
little bit like the Vikings. If you said at the beginning of the year, no love for the beginning, no Rubio, and you're still above 500 on December 16th, it's pretty good.
They're 12-9. I didn't think they'd be where they are with all the injuries. I want to see what happens, though, Wednesday night in Miami. Ricky Rubio goes to South Beach. They didn't play there a year ago, remember. They only had the game up here. Rubio, those guys are going to be amped up. LeBron,
Love.
D-Wade, Bosch, they're going to hear all the
Wednesday
pregame
they
hype.
play with Miami?
Wednesday night, I believe.
Tuesday.
Or Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Tuesday night down there in Miami. So that's
Oh, no.
a marquee
Orlando
game.
tomorrow night and
Yeah.
then Miami on Tuesday.
And
Say
then
they're
Oklahoma
not-
City Thursday night here.
They say they might not play them back-to-back, though, right off the bat. But I think
Somebody
they will.
want to tell Adelman
Yeah.
that after he's
Sure. Plus, Adelman
say
says
that,
Adelman was going to limit Karolinko's minutes until he needed him and played him
Exactly.
52.
Exactly.
He better
And-
play him in Miami
and
because
let me
if you
tell you-
don't, Stern will call him.
Yeah.
If it got tight in
I'll tell you
overtime, I think Rubio would have come back in
Yeah.
too.
That Derek Williams is a pretty good player.
He's got ability.
When he plays, I can't understand this Adelman. Maybe he's got too many guys at position, but they wouldn't have won the game without him.
Yeah,
the
I
other
can't
night.
quite figure it out 'cause he's a nice kid. He doesn't seem like the kind that would be a problem at all as a coach or demanding more. So I've never been able to quite figure that out.
When he plays, he does pretty well. They're going to make a trade for him. They're going to be sorry. He's going to do pretty good for somebody.
I don't know if I could get that Varejao from Cleveland for him. I think I'd have to make it because you got to put your time into this guy. But, only because Adelman's obviously not a big fan. So.
But maybe he benefits from Rubio. He had
Yeah, he
16 when Rubio comes back. So I think you got to be more patient with him. I'm
I
with
do,
Sid.
too.
You put too much into him. He's the number 2 pick overall a year ago. I don't want to give up on
He
him.
looked pretty darn good the other night. He got some big baskets when they needed them real bad.
The other thing is, if Love's going to keep acting up, you might have to get rid of him, and he plays that position. You know?
Well, there is a dynamic here that I think they need to be concerned about no matter what they say. I think that Kevin senses that he's been the man and the most productive player, but the people love Rubio, and I think that could be a problem.
Yeah, he came in there and said he was sick, and he went home, but he also hurt his thumb too. But I don't think that's a problem with him. He's a pretty good kid. I think he.
I don't think it's that one thing. I think it's a combo package that builds.
I think he's willing to share anything with him.
He's a great player, man. You get those two playing together and working together.
You know, when you're Kevin Garnett and you're 28 years old, you can be whining about needing to be surrounded by better players, and I've put in 9 years. When you're 24, shut up and play.
Well, but I think he also got caught in a classic lunch conversation where he thought everything was flowing, and then he found out.
There's the master. There's the master of controversial remarks.
I play when I want to play.
Take a break. Come back. Score, the Minnesota Vikings. There it is. Wayne Kostrowski is working and working hard. To find out more, kickhungerchallenge.com. Kickhungerchallenge.com. 100% of your donation will benefit Second Harvest Heartland to help feed those struggling to put food on the table in Minnesota. You know, just every team would have a star right now. You got Rubio in love with the Timberwolves, you got Peterson with the Vikings, you got Maurer with the Twins, and the Wild would have Parisi, but they're not playing yet. Now, you let out some information today. It sounded like it was pretty exclusive that they're going to eliminate maybe 4 teams before this thing's over?
Well, that's what I hear now. Louis agrees with that, too. There's 4 teams who want to get out. And part of the deal is how they're going to take care of those 4 teams financially if they get out.
If they contract them.
There's Nashville, there's Florida,
Phoenix,
and Phoenix, and one more.
It's 3.
Where?
Carolina? I don't know.
Columbus,
or
Columbus is hurting, I think. No, Miami's, I think.
We already mentioned them.
Florida, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be a lot of jobs there.
Boy,
Well,
be quite a draft, wouldn't it? You get.
Yeah. Oh, you get some good players.
They could also end up in Seattle, which I think makes more sense.
Seattle's got to be great for the NBA and the NHL right now.
They're going to get a new
City,
downtown
right?
arena. Yeah.
Seattle's
And
gonna
Quebec
build
City wants a team badly, and that makes sense. It'd be like Winnipeg. They drool over the thing.
Seattle's going to build an arena, so they might have a spot there.
Okay.
It's unbelievable, though, how they can do it again. You know, last week we were going to settle it. Now Fear's doing the old. We're going to disband the union and declare we're not interested in the negotiations.
It's not bad. They got 1 fair. They got 2 fairs.
Well,
You got 2 cancers.
you see, the Twins brought in another new chucker today, Mike Pelfrey, coming back from Tommy John. I think he had it in May. The Mets guy.
So what will be when the dust settles on this? Will this rotation be any better than if you brought back Baker, Liriano, Pavano, and Blackburn? Just say.
Yeah, because I don't think Pavano can pitch anymore, and Blackburn, I think Blackburn will be in training camp, but I would think that Kevin Correa, with all the abuse he's taken, I'd rather have him now than Carl Pavano. I mean, Pavano couldn't get it past 85 last year, so
He hasn't got a job yet.
he's probably cooked.
What about Vance
a little
Worley?
better, but I like Vance Worley a lot. Yeah.
But you're still talking about what, Carroll at short, Mastriani or somebody in center.
No, they're going to play Florimon at short and Dozier at second. That's what I think.
Do you?
Yep.
He said today Carroll at short, didn't he?
Me?
Didn't Terry Ryan say Carroll at short today on your radio show? I thought he said that.
Well, they don't.
I don't know.
But anyway,
You know, Terry,
no
he
matter
doesn't
what,
like
I
to
think so.
declare that the job belongs to Pedro Florimon, but Gardy wants Florimon because he can catch the ball.
But boy, that's a tough lineup to get excited about right now.
Well,
Yeah, good luck selling tickets.
they'll. You know, I like the 2 trades. The Philadelphia gave him more than Ben Revere's worth. I got to make that trade. I'm not a big Revere guy. I like him, but not great. And Span, I've always, He's above average, but not.
But isn't Revere good for target
Who's going to
field?
play center field?
Yeah, I mean, he runs balls down in the
I
gap.
still think they'll go get
They've
some
been
veteran.
waiting 2 years for Aaron Hicks. You know, they've been waiting for Hicks.
That guy that played center field part of this season wasn't too bad, was he?
Mastriani will probably play the first 2 months, and then Hicks will play.
Or they'll go get whatever the equivalent of an Otis Nixon at the end of his career is for a year or two.
Well,
or
I
something
thought
like
they
that.
might get that Skip Schumacher from St. Louis, but he went somewhere else. So.
Gopher basketball team.
Well, they're pretty good. If they stay healthy, I think they're going to be pretty good.
Could be a fun Big Ten.
I'll tell you, one of the greatest basketball games I've ever
Did you
seen
see it yesterday?
was Indiana
And Butler?
You watch that game?
Boy, can that kid coach.
I got sucked
Brad
into that
Stevens.
game, man. December, I don't watch much college basketball, but that was fun.
He outcoached that other guy by a
And by the
mile.
way, anybody who wants to tell you how great the Big Ten is, don't let them mention Purdue. They are terrible. They got
they?
all those. Oh, Notre Dame beat them as bad as they wanted to.
But you
The
throw
other game of the double.
That Indiana game, they're 4 ahead, and there's not much time left. They get 2 threes
Yeah.
and go ahead and then win the game.
Butler's
So does
going
that
to
mean
end up.
Butler's the best team in the state of Indiana now, right?
Yeah,
Does that
they
give them
say
the,
Butler's
title?
going to end up in that Catholic. They're not.
Notre
in
Dame's
that
pretty good, too, though.
Conference,
that'd be a good matchup.
7 Big East schools. They're
Got to
gonna end
go.
up in
See you
that
back
league.
here next week, everybody.